Shalom. First and foremost, giving our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles, our elders at Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the elect. And I wanted to jump into this topic of being double-minded in Jacob's trouble, because ultimately this is something that you don't want to happen come when Jacob's trouble is in full bloom, knowing what the Lord is about to do. So let's jump into Ephesians, the 6th chapter, because it touches on you basically doing everything in your might to stand. So Ephesians 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And we understand that when you come to serve the Lord, you have to basically prepare your soul for temptation. It tells you that in Sirach, the 2nd chapter. So ultimately, there's a specific mindset that you need while you serve the Lord, because the Lord is going to test you. He's going to put you low. He's going to make you go through a lot of atrocities. But this is exercising your faith, because just as the Lord can put you through certain things, he can get you out of it, right? So verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? And when you turn away from wickedness and try your best to be righteous, you make yourself a prey. Okay, so ultimately, certain spirits are going to mess with you, evil spirits are going to mess with you, demons are going to mess with you. But all of this exercises your faith. It exercises your hope, right? Verse 13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand. And that evil day is fastly approaching. You know, so in Jacob's trouble, you want to have the mindset of doing everything that the Lord told you to do to the best of your abilities, so you know that the Lord has your back in the evil times that we're coming into, right? As the scripture tells you, in the latter days perilous times shall come. Verse 14, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. So your faith is likened unto a shield, and with this shield you're supposed to be defending yourself, right? So this is why I said earlier that the things that the Lord is going to put you through, and it's ultimately going to deliver you from it, this exercises your faith, right? And ultimately, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is showing you that he's there. You know, so we don't want to be double-minded when we actually need the Lord in life or death situations, man. Because this is what it's coming down to. Verse 17, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. So prayer is a big thing too. You know, and I get on myself first and foremost, because ultimately we all need to be better in the Spirit, but that starts with us first. We have to examine ourselves daily to see if we're in the faith, right? So let's get 2 Timothy. Let's see the mindset of Apostle Paul. 2 2 Timothy 4 and verse 8. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, Yahweh, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them that also love his appearing. And the reason why I got this scripture is because Apostle Paul basically did everything that the Lord commanded him to do. Ultimately, he endured his affliction. He went to go preach. I mean, the Apostle Paul basically laid out the body of Yahweh HaMashiach. And ultimately, we follow after that same steadfast. So Apostle Paul basically knew that he had a crown of righteousness waiting for him, man. And this is something that, we're not supposed to be boasting about, but we're supposed to have a certain amount of boldness to us, knowing that we did the Lord's work, knowing that we've did everything that we could to show the Lord that we want mercy. Ultimately, let's get Luke the 12th chapter. And we can start at verse 41. Then Peter said unto him, Lord, speakest thou this parable unto us, or even to all? And the Lord said, Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom the Lord shall make him ruler over his household, to give them their portion of meat in due season? Blessed is that servant, whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Right, so this is why we have to continue doing the work, and ultimately we have to endure all the way unto the end. Verse 44, Of a truth I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he hath. But if that servant say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and drink and be drunken, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him asunder, and to appoint his portion with the unbelievers. And this is something that we don't want to happen to us. Okay, because ultimately we don't want to go back in the world. Okay, this is why the Lord said, He that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. You have to continue all the way. Right? Verse 47, And that servant which knew his Lord's will, and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. So if you knew to do the will of the Lord, and you ultimately didn't do it, then you're ultimately going to get beaten with many stripes. This is why we're supposed to be putting this truth first before anything. Okay, because ultimately this is a matter of life and death. Verse 48, But he knew not, and did not commit things worthy of stripes, shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whosoever much is given, of him shall much be required, and to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. So the fact that we know this, because every man in this ministry has a certain portion of faith, a certain portion of knowledge and wisdom and understanding of this glorious gospel. So we're supposed to be putting out what the Lord gave us. If the Lord gave you a lot, then you're supposed to be putting out a lot. This is a part of examining yourself in the faith, to see where you're falling short, or to see where you're coming in slack. So therefore you can get on yourself and do better. Because ultimately the Lord didn't give you this truth just to basically sit on it. Right? So let's jump to Let's get Matthew 25. And let's expound upon that more. Matthew 25 and verse 13. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man travailing into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, and to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. So every brother has their own amount of portion, man. Verse 15, and unto one he gave 5 talents, and to another 1, and to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he that hath received 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he that had received 2, he also gained another 2. But he that hath received 1, and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. Verse 19, after a long time the Lord of those servants cometh, and reckoneth with him, which is basically Yahushua returning. And so he that hath received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest me unto 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. So this servant, basically, the Lord gave him a portion amount of work to flip, which is likened unto money. And he went out there and flipped that money and gave the Lord extra. He gave him, basically he flipped it and gave him what the Lord expected him to give him. Verse 21. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. So this other servant, did the same exact thing, but he has less than the other servant. But that's not the point. The whole point is that whatever the Lord gives you, he has to receive back. Verse 24. Then he which received 1 talent and came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art an hard man, reaping thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knowest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance from him. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So ultimately, you want to be in that mindset of those 2 first servants. Okay, that the Lord gave the one servant the 5 talents, the other servant 2 talents, and they flipped it and gave back the Lord the exact amount that he gave them. So you don't want to have a mindset going into Jacob's trouble that you could have done more, because ultimately you will fall under the same category as that one servant. Okay, so this is why you always hear Apostle Paul and Apostle Peter saying, give diligence, man. Okay, Apostle Paul knew that he was a part of the elect. He knew that he was going to get a crown from Yahushua because he did everything that the Lord told him to do. Which we want to fall under that category, not in a cocky way, but in a way that we know that the Lord's going to have our back in Jacob's trouble. So, Lord willing, you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles, our elders at Great Millstone, who teach and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the elect. Shalom.